Hello and welcome to Car Facts. My name is Victoria and in today's video I will be talking about the Lotus Carlton. I hope that you enjoy this video. Picture this. It's the early 1990s and cars like the Ferrari F40 and Porsche 911 Turbo are ruling the roads. But then, out of nowhere, a sedan comes roaring onto the scene, faster than most sports cars of its time. That sedan was the Lotus Carlton. At first glance, it looked like just another executive saloon. But make no mistake, this was no ordinary car. Beneath its sleek but understated exterior lurked a beast that could embarrass even the most exotic supercars. Let's dive into the fascinating story of this British icon. The Lotus Carlton was born from a collaboration between Lotus Cars and Vauxhall Motors, a partnership that no one expected would create such an insane machine. Vauxhall provided the base, the Carlton, known as the Opel Omega in continental Europe, and Lotus worked its magic to transform it into a fire-breathing monster. The result? A four-door sedan capable of an eye-watering top speed of 176 miles per hour. Yes, you heard that right. Back in 1990, this car could outpace a Lamborghini Countach, and it had 4 doors. So, what made the Lotus Carlton so special? For starters, its engine. Under the hood was a heavily modified 3.6-liter inline-six engine, originally from the Opel Omega. Lotus slapped on twin Garrett T25 turbochargers, increasing its displacement to 3.6 liters and bumping the power output to a staggering 377 horsepower and 419 lb-ft of torque. To put that into perspective, this was more power than a Ferrari 348, and in a car you could take grocery shopping. The Lotus Carlton wasn't just fast in a straight line. Its chassis and suspension were also meticulously tuned by Lotus to deliver precision handling. The engineers fitted it with a revised multi-link rear suspension and upgraded dampers, giving it balance and poise despite its hefty weight of around 1,650 kilograms. This wasn't just a car for drag races, it could tackle corners with grace, making it a true all-rounder. Here's a fun fact. The gearbox in the Lotus Carlton wasn't some run-of-the-mill transmission. It was borrowed from the Chevrolet Corvette CR1. That's right, a British sedan sharing components with an American muscle icon. The 6-speed manual gearbox was chosen because it could handle the immense torque without breaking a sweat. This made the Lotus Carlton a car for true driving enthusiasts who loved to row their own gears. The Carlton's brakes were also worth mentioning. To bring this high-speed missile to a stop, Lotus equipped it with massive AP racing brakes. These 330mm ventilated discs were some of the largest available at the time, ensuring the car could decelerate just as impressively as it could accelerate. It was a complete package: power, control, and engineering brilliance. Of course, with great power comes great controversy. The Lotus Carlton was so fast that it sparked outrage in the UK. In fact, it was labeled as irresponsible by some politicians and media outlets who thought no one needed a family car that could outrun police vehicles. There was even talk of banning it outright, but thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. Today, this controversy only adds to the Carlton's mystique. The Lotus Carlton's performance figures are still impressive even by modern standards. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.2 seconds, and 0 to 100 miles per hour in 11.5 seconds. Remember, this was in an era when supercars struggled to achieve those numbers. And it wasn't just fast. It was also luxurious. The interior featured plush leather seats, wood accents, and all the amenities you'd expect from a high-end executive car. But let's talk rarity. The Lotus Carlton was never a mass-market vehicle. In fact, only 950 units were ever produced, making it a highly sought-after collector's item today. Each car was hand-assembled at the Lotus factory in Vauxhall, Norfolk, and the attention to detail was impeccable. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement, and what a statement it made. The Carlton wasn't flashy like a Ferrari or a Porsche, but that was part of its charm. Its understated design meant it could fly under the radar, a true wolf in sheep's clothing. You could pull up next to a sports car at a traffic light, and they'd have no idea what hit them when you left them in the dust. It was the ultimate sleeper car. Another interesting tidbit, the Lotus Carlton wasn't cheap. Back in 1990, it cost around £48,000, which is equivalent to over £110,000 today when adjusted for inflation. But for those who could afford it, the Carlton offered an unmatched combination of speed, luxury, and practicality. The Lotus Carlton wasn't just fast. It was a symbol of innovation. Lotus engineers had to completely rework the car's aerodynamics to ensure stability at high speeds. This included a subtle yet effective body kit, complete with a front splitter and rear spoiler, to reduce lift and improve downforce. The result? A car that felt planted even when it was approaching its top speed. Despite its brilliance, the Lotus Carlton had a relatively short production run, ending in 1992. But its legend lives on. Enthusiasts around the world continue to celebrate this remarkable car, and it's become a symbol of what happens when engineers are given free rein to create something truly extraordinary. Now, let's dig deeper into its cultural impact. The Lotus Carlton wasn't just a car. It became a symbol of rebellion. It challenged the notion that speed was reserved for exotic, two-seater supercars. The Carlton showed that you could have blistering performance, comfort, and practicality all in one package. It also inspired a new wave of high-performance sedans from brands like BMW and Mercedes-Benz, which were eager to compete in this niche market. Let's not forget its timeless design. While many cars from the early 90s now look dated, the Lotus Carlton still turns heads today. Its wide stance, subtle body kit, and iconic 17-inch Ronal wheels give it a presence that's hard to ignore. And those Carlton green paint jobs? Pure class. One of the most memorable stories about the Lotus Carlton involves a high-speed chase in the UK. According to urban legend, a Carlton managed to outrun several police cars on the motorway, leaving them completely helpless. Whether true or not, this tale adds to the car's almost mythical reputation. It's the kind of story that gets passed down through generations of car enthusiasts. The Lotus Carlton also represents a bygone era of automotive engineering. This was a time before turbocharged engines became the norm, before electronic driver aids took over, and before strict emissions regulations reigned in performance. The Carlton was raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically bold. It's a reminder of what cars used to be, machines designed to excite and thrill. Today, finding a well-preserved Lotus Carlton is like finding a needle in a haystack. Collectors guard them jealously, and prices have skyrocketed in recent years. It's not uncommon for pristine examples to sell for six-figure sums. But for those lucky enough to own one, the Carlton isn't just a car. It's a piece of history. The Carlton's influence is undeniable. It paved the way for modern performance sedans, proving that you didn't have to sacrifice practicality for speed. Cars like the BMW M5, Audi RS6, and Mercedes MG63 all owe a debt of gratitude to the trailblazing Lotus Carlton. So, there you have it, the story of the Lotus Carlton, a car that broke the mold and rewrote the rulebook for performance sedans. It's a reminder that sometimes the most exciting things come from the most unexpected places. If you ever get the chance to see one in person, take a moment to appreciate the genius behind it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into automotive history, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Got a favorite car you'd like us to cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.